All right, let's dive right into this explainer. Today, we're going to outline exactly how to navigate the Maryland MVA process and finally snag that learner's permit. Are you ready for the absolute freedom of the open road? I know, getting your driver's license is a huge milestone. And yeah, the Maryland Motor Vehicle Administration, or MVA as we all call it, can seem a little intimidating or bureaucratic at first glance. But don't worry, we've got a clear, step-by-step roadmap to get you through the challenge and right into the driver's seat. Here's our roadmap for today. We're looking at eligibility requirements, the application and test, the rules and restrictions, prep for the road, and finally, common mistakes and resources. Starting out with Chapter 1, Eligibility and Requirements. Before you even start digging up birth certificates, it's really crucial to understand how this works. Everyone, and I mean regardless of age, starts in what Maryland calls the Rookie Driver Program. It's a multi-stage, graduated licensing system built to help you gain skills safely. You kick things off with a learner's permit, level up to a provisional license, and then, ultimately, you earn that full driver's license. So what's the very first requirement? Age. You have to be exactly 15 years and 9 months old to even begin this quest, not a single day sooner. Now, you can't just walk in empty-handed. You're going to need original, unexpired documents to prove who you are. We're talking a U.S. birth certificate or passport for your identity and age, proof of your social security number, and 2 separate documents like utility bills or bank statements to prove you actually live in Maryland. Oh, and international applicants, you'll need proof of lawful status. There are some specific rules for younger drivers, too. Under 16, you got to bring a sealed Form DL-300 to prove school attendance. Under 18, you need a parent or guardian right there with you to co-sign. Moving right along to Chapter 2, Application and the Knowledge Test. First things first, walk-ins are basically a no-go at the MVA these days. You absolutely have to schedule an appointment online. And before you head over there, study the Maryland Driver's Manual, like really study it. Once you're actually at the MVA, you'll take a quick vision screening to make sure your eyes are road ready and pay a $50 application fee. Then comes the computerized knowledge test. And here's the kicker. The passing score is 88%. That is a pretty high bar, which is exactly why cracking open that manual beforehand is totally mandatory. Let's break the actual test down. You get exactly 20 minutes to answer 25 multiple choice questions. To hit that 88% mark, you've got to get at least 22 of them right. The test covers Maryland traffic laws, road signs, and safe driving practices. If you miss more than 3, well, you fail. And if you fail, you have to wait at least 1 full business day, pay another fee, and try the whole thing again. All right, Chapter 3, Restrictions and Rules. Okay, so let's say you crush the test and you've got that permit in your hand. Congrats. But hold on, you can never drive alone. You always need a qualified supervising driver sitting right there in the front passenger seat. This person has to be at least 21 years old and must have held a valid driver's license for a minimum of 3 years. And just to keep distractions to an absolute minimum, no other passengers are allowed up front with you guys. Now, the rules actually change a bit depending on your age. There's a zero tolerance policy for alcohol and absolutely no cell phone use, not even hands-free for everyone. But if you're under 18, the state puts up a few extra guardrails. You'll have a strict driving curfew from midnight to 5 a.m. Plus, for the first 151 days, you can't have any passengers under 18 in the car unless they are direct, immediate family members. Which brings us to Chapter 4, Preparing for the Road. The amount of actual practice you need to log depends entirely on your age. If you're under 25, you've got to log a total of 60 practice hours, and 10 of those have to be at night. You also have to hold your permit for 9 full months with a spotless driving record. But if you're 25 or older, it's a completely different story. You only need 14 total practice hours with 3 at night, and you only have to wait 45 days before you can try for your road test. But listen, regardless of your age or your required practice hours, every single applicant has to complete an NVA-approved driver's education course. No exceptions whatsoever. You're looking at 30 hours of classroom instruction, plus 6 hours of behind-the-wheel training with a certified pro. And finally, Chapter 5, Mistakes, Resources, and Conclusion. Let's quickly go over some common roadblocks so you can avoid them. Honestly, the biggest pitfall is just showing up unprepared. The paperwork at the MVA is incredibly precise, and they aren't very forgiving if you mess it up. Make sure all those complex forms are filled out completely. Do yourself a huge favor and use the MVA's online document guide before you leave the house so you don't end up getting turned away at the door. You also really want to avoid these classic mistakes. Don't just show up without an appointment. You're just going to waste your whole day. If you're an international student, you have to complete a savvy verification online way before your visit, or they won't even process you. And here is a massive one. Do not get a traffic violation. If you get caught speeding or breaking a rule, your required 9-month holding period completely resets back to day 1. Oh, and it goes without saying, never, ever falsify your practice skills log. You definitely aren't alone in this. Lean heavily on the Maryland Motor Vehicle Administration website. It's packed with practice tests, you can find the driver's manual in multiple languages, and of course, those scheduling tools. When you're dealing with the MVA, preparation is literally your best friend. The path to driving really does start with simply being well-informed. By following these steps, you're setting yourself up for a lifetime of safe driving. Hey, if you found this helpful, please subscribe for more in-depth evergreen explainers that help you navigate big life milestones just like this. Just a quick disclaimer before we go. Always verify the current details directly with the Maryland MVA before you begin. State policies, fees, and laws absolutely can and do change over time. The rules are strict, but they exist for a reason, to keep you and everyone else safe out there. So with the entire roadmap laid out right in front of you, what's the very first step you'll take today to earn your spot in the driver's seat?